In the island of Sri Lanka, leopards reign supreme as the top predator of the jungle. Unlike India or Africa, they have no competition from other predators. As explained by the principle of character release, animals that inhabit an environment without competition from similar species have the ability to expand their traits and habitat range. This may explain why the leopard occupies a diverse range of habitats in a small island like Sri Lanka. Most of the leopards in Sri Lanka are found in the lowland forests, in national parks like Yala, Wilpattu, or Kumana. But in the central highlands of Sri Lanka, a unique leopard population inhabits Horton Plains National Park. This misty plateau is situated over 2,000 meters above sea level. In fact, for most of the year, this landscape is covered with mist. Apart from the common sambar deer, other wildlife is largely elusive. But a leopard sighting is a very rare occurrence. Even at a glance, these leopards look different than other leopards in Sri Lanka. The leopards of Horton Plains are stocky and probably bigger than their lowland cousins. Furthermore, they seem to have broader facial characteristics too. No doubt these physical adaptations can be attributed to the cold weather of the landscape. This physical adaptation was described by German biologist Carl Bergmann in 1847. He stated that in colder regions, individuals of a particular species tend to have a larger body mass than individuals in warmer areas. For instance, polar bears in the Arctic regions have large body sizes compared to bears in warmer locations. Coupled with extra body fat and a thick fur coat to face the cold weather, this may explain why the leopards of Horton Plains appear bigger than the lowland leopards of Sri Lanka. But are the leopards of Horton Plains the only leopards to inhabit a mountainous ecosystem? Currently, there are 9 leopard subspecies in the world, with an extensive distribution ranging from Africa to Asia. Of all wild cats, leopards have the widest distribution. Leopards are found in over 70 countries in the world, occupying a variety of habitats that include savannas, tropical rainforests, and even mountainous regions. So which leopards prefer to live in the mountains? Found in parts of the Arabian Peninsula, the Arabian leopard is the smallest leopard subspecies. Weighing between 18 to 34 kilograms, which is between 40 to 75 pounds, these leopards prefer the high, rugged mountains of the Arabian Peninsula. It's believed that they favor this habitat due to the availability of prey and trapped water, although some leopards are found at lower elevations too. In fact, the Jabal Samhal Nature Reserve in the Dhofar Mountains of Oman is home to the largest subpopulation of Arabian leopards. Here, the mountains rise up to around 2,100 meters, which is around the same height as the Horton Plains Plateau in Sri Lanka. It's estimated that there are between 20 to 40 Arabian leopards in these mountains. However, the overall population of Arabian leopards in the wild is less than 200. But unlike the leopards of Horton Plains, these leopards are much smaller, with adult males only weighing up to 35 kilograms, whereas a grown Sri Lankan leopard can weigh up to 80 kilograms or more. Sri Lankan leopards are one of the largest leopard subspecies in the world. According to some records, there have been Sri Lankan leopards weighing up to 100 kilograms, which is over 200 pounds, but all those records have been from the lowlands. In the 1950s, author Trevor LeBroy supposedly shot a leopard that weighed 113 kilograms, which is around 250 pounds. If this statement is valid, this specimen may be the largest leopard ever recorded. But this particular leopard was not a highland leopard. At a glance, this male highland leopard looks equally impressive. Over 4 years old, this leopard is the undisputed prince of Horton Plains. Just as in the lowlands, the leopards of Horton Plains have no competition from other predators. So can the impressive size of this leopard be attributed to lack of competition? However, the lack of competition from other predators isn't the only reason why leopards obtain larger body sizes. Other factors like the availability of prey species and the quality of the prey base, can also determine the size of a leopard. At Horton Plains, the leopard's main prey are sambar deer. Since sambar deer are available in large numbers, access to food is not a problem for these leopards. The deer are also a source of high-quality protein, which may be another reason why these leopards are larger. Furthermore, other elements like habitat structure and genetic factors may also impact the size of a leopard. Then there's the climate and temperature. As mentioned earlier, Bergmann's rule states that animals in colder regions are larger than animals in warmer climates. Usually, animals inhabiting a cold climate have an extra layer of fat to retain heat, while also having a thick fur coat, which makes them appear bigger, like the Amur leopard. But does Bergmann's rule apply to Amur leopards? The Amur leopard is found in the forests and mountains of eastern Russia and northern China. Like the leopards of Horton Plains, the Amur leopard has also developed physical characteristics to face the cold weather during winter. The Amur leopard has thick fur which can grow up to 7 centimeters during the winter. They also have long legs and wider paws to help them walk through snow. Despite their stocky appearance, published weight statistics of Amur leopards claim that grown males weigh around 50 kilograms, which is around 110 pounds. At least on paper, it seems the leopards of Horton Plains are larger than Amur leopards, though they have developed similar physical adaptations to face the cold weather. As for habitat elevation, it's believed that the activity range of Amur leopards is between 200 to 1800 meters, which is slightly lower than the Horton Plains Plateau. Amur leopards are critically endangered, with around 100 leopards left in the wild. Even though Amur leopards live in cold habitats, they are relatively smaller compared to other leopards. With a smaller body mass in a cold climate, this goes against Bergmann's rule, which dictates that animals in cold regions have a larger body mass. But the Amur leopard size may be related to the diminished density and quality of prey in the area. Generally, Amur leopards prey on animals like sika deer. The largest subspecies of this deer can weigh up to 110 kilograms. However, these animals are also the prey of Amur tigers. Since Amur leopards and tigers share territory, it's believed that the leopards prey on smaller animals to avoid competition. But at Horton Plains, leopards have a high-quality prey base. Here, their main prey are sambar deer. Unlike sika deer, these animals can weigh up to 200 kilograms. Hence, the size of prey may correlate with the size of leopards at Horton Plains. A research conducted by the Department of Wildlife at Horton Plains also confirmed that leopards mostly preyed on sambar deer. Since the leopard is the apex predator of this highland ecosystem, they also aid population control by hunting sambar deer, which consequently prevents overgrazing. Furthermore, the dense grasslands of Horton Plains are a perfect hunting ground for leopards. For instance, it seems that only a lone sambar deer is in this frame. But a closer look reveals a leopard, carefully concealed amid the grass. The grass provides an ideal cover for the leopard to attack. Not only sambar deer, the leopards have a wide prey base at Horton Plains, ranging from small animals like the giant squirrel, black-naped hare, purple-faced langur, and even wild boar. Normally, it's believed that leopards prey on animals that weigh between 10 to 40 kilograms. But the average body weight of herbivores at Horton Plains clearly exceeds this range. For instance, some sambar deer can weigh up to 200 kilograms or more. Other medium-sized deer species, like spotted deer, do not inhabit highland regions like Horton Plains. However, spotted deer are the main prey species of leopards in the lowlands. Spotted deer are smaller than sambar deer, hence the smaller mass of prey may correlate with the body size of leopards in the lowlands. However, there are equally impressive leopards in Iran. Like the leopards of Horton Plains, these Persian leopards have a stocky structure too. In the cold mountainous regions of northern Iran, male Persian leopards reportedly weigh around 70 kilograms on average, but male leopards from southern and central Iran reportedly have a lower body mass. So in this scenario, Bergmann's rule can be applied to Persian leopards. Interestingly, a research conducted in 2015 revealed that leopards with exceptionally large skull sizes were found in northern Iran. Here the authors state that larger skull sizes validated Bergmann's rule, since these Persian leopards were bigger in colder regions. Hence, the physiological adaptations of Persian leopards correlate with the broad cranial structure of leopards at Horton Plains. Another study suggests that the Persian leopard's ability to attack larger prey is due to its superior body size, especially in the northern parts of Iran, where leopards are relatively bigger. This would also correlate with the leopards of Horton Plains, who are presumed to be larger than the lowland leopards of Sri Lanka. At Horton Plains, leopards have a diverse prey base. But just like the Persian leopards of northern Iran, leopards prefer to hunt larger prey here too, especially sambar deer. Once common in the Caucasus region, the current stronghold of the Persian leopard is in Iran. Here too, the leopard prefers remote mountainous regions spanning from dry and arid areas up into snowy mountain ranges. The Persian leopard is generally considered as the largest leopard subspecies, with some specimens weighing up to 90 kilograms, which is around 200 pounds. Like the leopards of Horton Plains, the Persian leopard also has a stocky body with relatively short legs. It's believed that these leopards inhabit regions with an elevation of up to 3,200 meters, which is somewhat higher than the Horton Plains Plateau. In fact, studies have revealed that Persian leopards prefer mountainous areas due to the availability of prey. Currently, it's estimated that there are between 800 to 1,000 Persian leopards left in the wild. Leopards have a high degree of morphological variation in Africa. Depending on the region, leopards in Africa will exhibit coat color variations or drastic weight differences. But like the hefty leopards of Horton Plains in Sri Lanka, it's believed that African leopards inhabiting hilly or mountainous regions are usually bigger than lowland leopards. With regard to elevation, African leopards have been recorded at around 4,000 meters in Mount Kenya. In 1926, a fascinating record of an African leopard originated from Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania. With a height of around 5,800 meters, Mount Kilimanjaro is Africa's highest mountain. Although African leopards have been recorded at elevations of up to 4,000 meters, it came as a surprise when the frozen carcass of a leopard was discovered on top of Mount Kilimanjaro in 1926. This photo shows the frozen leopard on top of the mountain, which is well over 5,000 meters. However, to this day, no one knows what the leopard was doing at this high altitude, but it's believed that the leopard followed its prey up the mountain and subsequently froze to death. Furthermore, the Atlas mountain range in North Africa was once home to the Barbary leopard. Though Barbary leopards are presumed to be extinct, since they inhabited colder regions like the leopards of Horton Plains, these leopards were reportedly much larger than other African leopards. According to one source, in 1918, a Barbary leopard which was killed in Algeria weighed over 80 kilograms, which would mean their weight was similar to Sri Lankan leopards. Interestingly, a later study revealed that a museum skull of a Barbary leopard was larger than that of regular leopards. This would correlate with the broader facial characteristics of leopards at Horton Plains. As leopards, or any other animal, shifts towards high-altitude regions, they develop these physical characteristics to adapt to the cold weather. Even snow leopards have developed similar physical adaptations. These animals also have long fur and shorter limbs, combined with wide paws to help them walk through snow. As suggested by Bergmann's rule, animals in colder regions also have a larger body mass, providing more room to store fat, which is essential for surviving cold winters. Hence, common leopards that inhabit colder regions, like Persian leopards, Amur leopards, and the leopards of Horton Plains, all have stocky physical characteristics, although actual sizes may vary. But do common leopards inhabit elevations that are occupied by snow leopards? In the Indian subcontinent, photographic evidence has emerged of common Indian leopards sharing territory with snow leopards. Found in many regions of the Indian subcontinent, the Indian leopard is found in all forest types. On average, they weigh between 50 to 75 kilograms, which is roughly similar to the weight of a Sri Lankan leopard. But these leopards have been recorded at much higher elevations than the leopards of Horton Plains. Trap camera photographs have captured snow leopards and common leopards inhabiting elevations of around 4,000 meters in Nepal. Generally, snow leopards inhabit elevations between 3,000 to 5,000 meters above sea level. Found in the high mountains of northern and central Asia, including the Himalayan region, snow leopards are not true leopards. Even though they have the word leopard in their name, these animals are more closely related to tigers than leopards. Hence, they are not included among the 9 leopard subspecies. At one time, 27 leopard subspecies were categorized, including the Sri Lankan leopard, which was first described in 1956. But a genetic study in 1996 reduced the number of leopard subspecies to 8, and the Sri Lankan leopard was confirmed to be a distinct subspecies. Yet it's believed that the Sri Lankan leopard diverged more recently than its mainland ancestors, ultimately becoming the top predator of the island. It's also important to note that the leopards of Horton Plains, although referred to as highland leopards or mountain leopards, are not a separate subspecies. They've simply adapted, both behaviorally and morphologically, to inhabit the upper mountainous regions of Sri Lanka. Other leopards, like the North China leopard, also inhabit the mountains of northern China. In fact, recent studies have shown that the North China leopard prefers to inhabit higher altitudes with less human presence. Like the Amur leopard and leopards of Horton Plains, these leopards also have a thick, long coat because they inhabit similar cold climates. The current stronghold of the North China leopard is the Taihang Mountains in China. Ranging around 400 kilometers from north to south, this mountain range has an average elevation of 1,500 to 2,000 meters, which is slightly lower than the Horton Plains Plateau in Sri Lanka. However, the North China leopard is physically similar to Amur leopards, with an average weight of around 50 kilograms, which is around 100 pounds, although some leopards can weigh up to 70 kilograms. Currently, less than 400 North China leopards are left in the wild. Studies have shown that over 90% of the leopard's global range is occupied by the African leopard, Persian leopard, and the Indian leopard. Meanwhile, the Arabian leopard, Amur leopard, and the North China leopard have lost over 90% of their historic range. Interestingly, the Sri Lankan leopard had the lowest loss of historic range, with 37% of its original habitat still intact. Currently, it's estimated that there are between 800 to 1,000 Sri Lankan leopards left in the wild. Although there's no definite estimate, it's assumed that around 20 leopards occupy Horton Plains National Park. Studies have also shown that Horton Plains has a high leopard density. This can be partially attributed to prey availability. Since there is a healthy population of sambar deer in the park, prey density is high too. In general, leopard density is dependent on the amount of prey available. Hence, if there is ample prey in any given area, the number of leopards will be high. There's another reason why the leopard density is high. In Sri Lanka, there are no tigers or lions, so the leopard is the apex predator of the island. If tigers were present in this habitat, it would mean that leopards would have to compete for the same food source, just like the Amur leopard. Yet at around 32 square kilometers, Horton Plains is one of the smallest national parks in Sri Lanka. Hence, it's no surprise that leopards also roam outside the park. Photographic evidence has shown several leopards roaming the region surrounding the park boundaries, which would mean they foray into human-dominated landscapes. In fact, leopards have been sighted on the road leading from the nearest village of Patipola to the entrance of Horton Plains National Park. In this picture, one of the park's biggest male leopards, known as HPM8, is seen marking territory by scratching its front paws on a tree, which implies that its territory extends well beyond the boundaries of Horton Plains National Park. Although no human-leopard altercations have been recorded at Horton Plains, clashes between humans and leopards have been recorded in other parts of the Central Highlands. Leopards constantly get entangled in snares, ultimately succumbing to injuries as a result. Such careless human activity may propel these highland leopards towards a bleak future. Towards southern Asia, the Malay Peninsula is the stronghold of another endangered leopard subspecies. Interestingly, most of the leopards here are black. Instead of a normal spotted coat, a majority of Indo-Chinese leopards have an all-black coat. This may be an evolutionary adaptation to their habitat. Since most of these leopards are found in thick rainforests, having a black coat probably aids camouflage. A study conducted in 1996 at Thailand revealed that several Indo-Chinese leopards preferred to inhabit lower elevations between 500 to 600 meters, depending on prey availability. As for prey, a subpopulation of Indo-Chinese leopards in eastern Cambodia have a special preference. Studies revealed that these leopards preyed on a wild cattle species called banteng. Interestingly, it was noted that banteng was predominantly targeted by male leopards, whereas smaller female leopards had a different prey preference. These wild cattle can weigh over 500 kilograms, which is around 1,000 pounds. Though these leopards consumed much larger prey, the average weight of a male Indo-Chinese leopard was between 50 to 65 kilograms, which is between 110 to 140 pounds. So it's questionable whether prey size always determines the body mass of predators, although larger leopard subspecies, like Persian leopards and Horton Plains leopards, tend to consume bigger prey. Regardless, these Cambodian Indo-Chinese leopards are the only leopards in the world whose main prey had a weight greater than 500 kilograms. Yet, these leopards were smaller than Persian leopards or Sri Lankan leopards. In Africa, leopards also frequently kill larger animals, although studies have shown that African leopards generally prefer prey species that weigh between 1 to 45 kilograms. Unlike Sri Lanka, where the leopard is the top carnivore, the presence of other predators in Africa, like lions or hyenas, also impact a leopard's diet. On average, male African leopards weigh around 60 kilograms, which is around 130 pounds. Exceptional male leopards can weigh up to 80 kilograms or more. Hence, African leopards are generally bigger than Indo-Chinese leopards, regardless of their diet. There's a belief that leopards in the rainforests of Gabon in Central Africa are larger than other African leopards. Unlike the African savanna, where there are lions and hyenas, the leopard is the apex predator of this forest system. There's a theory that the skulls of Central African leopards are larger. Furthermore, some sources claim that the robust size of leopards in Gabon are a result of their diet. Interestingly, a research conducted in 2005 revealed that leopards in Leopards National Park sometimes even preyed on lowland gorillas. These gorillas can weigh up to 200 kilograms, which is around 450 pounds. Still, this is nowhere near the size of prey consumed by Indo-Chinese leopards in eastern Cambodia. But just like the Indo-Chinese leopard in eastern Cambodia, leopards inhabiting the lowland rainforests of Sri Lanka also have a specific preference of prey. This is Sinharaja, a tropical rainforest situated in the lowlands of Sri Lanka. Home to numerous animal species, over 90% of Sri Lanka's endemic birds are found in this forest. In fact, Sinharaja is largely known as a birding hotspot. At a glance, it's hard to believe that leopards inhabit this impenetrable jungle. But under the cover of darkness, Sri Lanka's most secretive leopards reveal themselves. These leopards are rarely seen. Little is known about their behavior and ecology. But a recent study conducted by the Wildlife Conservation Society of Gaul discovered that these leopards mainly prey on sambar deer, just like the leopards of Horton Plains. Although not as big as the leopards of Horton Plains, these animals are more robust than other lowland leopards. While the Indo-Chinese leopard primarily inhabits lowland habitats in Indochina, the Javan leopard has been recorded at elevations of up to 2,500 meters. Interestingly, alongside the Sri Lankan leopard, the Javan leopard is one of 2 island leopards in the world. And just like the Sri Lankan leopard, the Javan leopard is the top carnivore of Java. However, these leopards are relatively small, with grown males weighing between 45 to 70 kilograms, and there may be a valid reason why. Unlike Sri Lankan leopards, Javan leopards in Indonesia once had major competition. Historically, tigers also lived in Java, but by the mid-1970s, the Javan tiger went extinct. This is the last known photograph of a live tiger in Java, which was taken in 1938. But with the demise of the tiger, the Javan leopard became the top predator of Java. However, some sources claim that the Javan leopard is smaller than most leopards, weighing between 45 to 70 kilograms on average, which is between 100 to 155 pounds. Their lighter weight can possibly be attributed to the presence of tigers in the past. Just like the Amur leopards of Russia, Javan leopards probably had to compete with tigers for food. Black leopards have been recorded at Java too. In fact, Javan leopards were first described as black panthers, with dark black spots and grayish silver eyes. Although black leopards have been recorded in Sri Lanka, they are very rare. Most Sri Lankan leopards have a normal spotted coat, which contains a combination of spot and rosette patterns. These patterns are unique to each leopard, much like a fingerprint. For instance, this particular leopard from Horton Plains is known as HPM8. This codename signifies a specific male leopard at the park. Using previous photographs of this male leopard, one can identify the spot pattern on its face or flank. This helps local researchers keep track of the leopard to get a better understanding of its territory and behavior. So, even though the leopards of Horton Plains are not the only leopards to inhabit a mountainous habitat, they are a unique population of leopards in Sri Lanka. Their presence in the highlands stresses the importance of conserving this ecosystem while simultaneously paving a brighter future for these majestic cats.